It was crazy. The wind, the rain, the waves, and here's Jesus walking across, yes, on the water. Peter sees him. The disciples see him. They're scared to death. They think it's a ghost. Jesus says, "Don't be afraid. It's me." And Peter says, "If it's you, then call to me to come out on the water." And Jesus calls. And Peter gets out of the boat. And Peter starts walking on the water. And then he looks around and sees how big the waves are. And you know the rest of the story. He starts to sink down, cries out, "Lord, save me." Jesus reaches out for him and says, Why didn't you trust me?" He was doing the impossible by the power of God until he started to doubt that God could do the impossible. How many challenges that we face in life, the heartache that comes from it, the fear that comes from it, how much of that heartache and fear come as a consequence of us thinking there's no way that God can do the impossible? What if every time we felt that way, every time we started worrying about this overwhelming future, this very difficult event, if every time we were afraid, we started to sink down into the ground as if the floor underneath us became quicksand and we thought, based on everything we could tell, that we were going to get swallowed up by the earth? If you felt this happening to you, you'd say, "Lord, save me, save me." And of course, the Lord in his mercy is there to take our hand and then ask us, "Why do you doubt?" What if it would happen that physically we would experience what Peter did? This is what happens when you doubt the Lord, so that instantaneously we'd realize, "Oh no, this is even worse now. I'm scared to death. I need the Lord." The fact is that we don't have the ground open up under us every time we are worried. But if perhaps we might remember the events of Peter, when we're struggling with fear and doubt, and we can feel ourselves dropping down, to realize we're not helping ourselves by doubting or being afraid, we're only hurting ourselves. And then to remember that we don't have any reason to be afraid. The only reason we can walk on water, the only reason we can go through life trusting and full of God's joy, the only reason is because God works miracles in our hearts. And that's what we need to take on the next challenge, whatever it is that you're facing right now. Yes, it does require a miracle for you to continue to remain trusting in the Lord. It does remain a miracle for you to be able to go forward with joy in Jesus. But it always has. And God promises you that you can trust him to work out absolutely everything for your eternal good. Do not be afraid. Do not doubt. Don't cause yourself to sink down into the floor, or if you're a Peter, to sink down into the waves. Continue looking to Jesus, and in Jesus, continue to walk on water.